Hi, my name's Kirk Carver, and I'm a new member of the training committee and a new member of the executive committee. And what I'm going to be doing today is walking you through how to create an institutional summary for a draft statement, interim visit, and interim report. It's actually not pertinent to a final statement. All right, so let's look at this. Here are some editing secrets. First of all, the institutional summary is going to be different depending on the type of report that you're doing. So if it's an interim report, what you want to be able to do is just add the text that's in black, include the period, but add the text in black and just copy and paste it in. If you're doing a draft statement or an interim visit, you don't want to be doing any copying. You want to use your own words. Don't copy from the website, the institutional website. Don't go back to the last final statement and copy what's there, because editor twos have no life, and they'll go back and check it, and then they'll kick it back to me, and then I have to kick it back to you, and then we get to go through the editing process again. What you do want to do is follow the secret recipe, and you can find that in C200I. The I in this case stands for interim, so the interim report or interim visit, or C200GI, which stands for general or initial. And all of these documents are going to be in your team chair handbook. Or you can just pay attention to this presentation, because in a couple of slides I'm going to show you the secret recipe. All right, so very good. I mentioned the team chair handbook, and it has a number of folders. You can see the numbers over on the left-hand side of the slide, and there are a couple of, actually 6 pertinent documents that you'll need depending on what you're trying to do within AMS. And I've listed the prefix there, and then I've listed the name out on the far right side. Now, for doing the institutional summary, you want to be able to use the ones that I have highlighted in bold or green. So if you can't see green, just look for bold. If you can see green and bold, then it should step out a bit. But for this document, you either, if you're doing an interim reported visit, you want to use C200I. If you're doing a general or initial review, then you want to use C200GI. And you always want to use C311, which is going to be the CAC style guide for what terms to use as you're doing this. So let's get into an example now for a draft statement or interim visit. If you go and you look at C200GI or I, it's actually going to give you the same thing. It's going to tell you you need 3 key components, okay? And to confuse the innocent, they list them out of order. So when you're actually writing the statement, there's a good statement over on the right, and especially if you're a John Wick fan. And the first thing they ask for, number of students and faculty, that's probably going to be the last thing you list. And then the relevant information is really the introduction, and you can see what one looks like. Here again, highlighted in black. And at the end, kind of as an afterthought, they say, well, you should also include organizational structure, and that goes in the middle, and you can see that kind of bridge between the introduction, the organizational structure, and then the total number of undergraduate and graduate students. Leads to a pretty good institutional summary. All right, so let's revisit this. Institutional summaries are going to be different between an interim report, it has its own format, and a draft statement interim visit. For the interim report, you do want to copy exactly what I showed you earlier in this presentation, or you can go to C200I and it's listed there for what you should paste in. You do not want to copy verbatim from institutional websites with the last final statement if you're doing an interim visit or general report, because, as I mentioned earlier, editor twos have no life, and they will check to see if you're copying. You want to use the secret recipe that you can find in the C200GI, C200I, or was covered in this presentation. So you should be able to go back and build one pretty quickly. All right, well, very good. That brings us to the end of this short video on how to create an institutional summary for a draft statement, interim visit, or interim report. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.